The Dallas Mavericks absolutely refuse to get out of their own way. They just can't stop trashing Luka Doncic at every turn, and they're driving the wedge even further between themselves and their fan base. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Let's take a look at the latest insane things coming out of Dallas. This is via Sam Amick of The Athletic. By the way, everybody, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel here. Sam Amick of The Athletic writes, make no mistake, the people who witnessed Doncic's last days in Dallas do not paint a flattering portrait of the 25-year-old's professionalism. Stop doing that, Dallas. You're only making it worse on yourselves. They call him lazy. They talk about the weight issues that were such a frequent frustration within their walls. They mention the social habits that The Athletic has reported on, such as a taste for beer and hookah. Gasp. Oh, no. This means he's doomed, doesn't it? Which have been a point of concern for NBA types since he was a 19-year-old star for Real Madrid who was entering the NBA draft. They predict his basketball demise, highlighting a health history that, as some see it, will likely lead to catastrophe in the next 5 years or so. I'll tell you what's gross in all of this is that the Dallas Mavericks are now very dependent upon this demise. They are very much rooting for the demise of Luka. You could feel it at an organizational level, and why? It's because of the heat that they've been taking from the trade, the heat that they did not but should have anticipated. There's simply no reason for a team to be so actively rooting for the downfall of a former player, and yet that's exactly what seems to be happening here, particularly when that's typically fan behavior, right? Where you see fans want to root against the guy that has somehow wronged them and forced a trade or something like that. You see that kind of dynamic between a fan base and a player where a guy comes back and he gets booed. Look at Kyrie Irving anytime he goes back to Boston. That's fan behavior. That's not what you typically see from an organization. Why? Because from the organizational level, you're supposed to take the high road. You're supposed to be above all of this. And yet every time we turn around, there's something new negative coming out from Dallas about Luka. And all it is an attempt to justify what most around the NBA agree was a bad trade. Look, you made a move. It was probably not the right move, and it was a move that pissed off a lot of your fans. It did, and more than I think the Dallas Mavericks realized it would. I think they knew it was going to bother fans. I don't think they knew it was going to be like this. But the problem that they're not getting is that they're not helping themselves. Every time they put out more stuff. First, it was Luka's 270 pounds. You call him fat. Now it's, oh, he drinks too much beer. Now suddenly hookah. Every time you put out something like this, all it does is upsets Mavs fans even more because you're trying to justify it. You're trying to pile on Luka in order to justify it. But guess what? Mavs fans are in Luka's corner. They're on his side, not the side of the team. So every time you take these shots at Luka, all you're doing is pushing away your fans that much further. And look, there is one solution for the Mavs. One solution and one solution only to this problem, and that's they have to win. And they're going to need guys on the floor right now. The Dallas Mavericks have dropped to the 9 seed in the NBA's Western Conference. You look at what Luka did last night. Playing for the Lakers, dropped a triple-double, 19 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds. The Mavs were desperate to not allow Luka to get going, so much so that they were doubling him every chance they got. As my front office show co-host and the written side of the Basketball Bulletin wrote earlier today, Luka was getting doubled every time, and Luka, being Luka, didn't press the issue. He took the double teams and turned them into scoring opportunities. I mean, my God, look what happened when the Mavs Luka. One of the passes of the season. I mean, unbelievable stuff. Look at the Mavs. Guys, focused on Luka right now. Boom, easy dime, over the head toss, no look to Austin Reeves. That's what Luka is as a basketball player. And I think the problem for the Mavs is they're trying to convince themselves that, oh, no. Luka's got all these issues. He's not going to be the guy, but they missed the point. And that's that he already is the guy. And sometimes when you have the guy, you have to put up with some things that maybe you don't like, some things that maybe give you a little bit of worry. And ultimately what this comes down to, as Amick writes here, the Mavs' new ownership group didn't want to give Luka a 5-year, $345 million deal. And this is a bigger topic, everybody. This is a bigger topic to discuss in today's NBA, because you know what my fear is? That this is now a return to when the Supermax first came into play. If you remember that back then, the Supermax first came into play as a way to make sure teams could keep their stars, that the bigger market clubs wouldn't wind up, as Studio Stu checks in here, that the bigger market clubs would not walk away with all of the stars. And so what they did was they created the Supermax and this big advantage for the incumbent team to be able to keep their players. But instead, it wound up being such a pay bump that it actually scared off the incumbent teams. Look at Boogie Cousins and what happened with the Sacramento Kings. They traded him away rather than give him the Supermax. That's exactly what the Dallas Mavericks have done here. They've traded Luka rather than give him the Supermax, believing that he's simply not worth it. Under the new CBA, it's incredibly punitive to have a player on a max deal, or in this case, a Supermax deal, that isn't performing at that level. But again, it's a lot of money, but guess what? Scared money doesn't make money. And that's exactly what happened with the Dallas Mavericks. They're so worried about giving him this contract and, what's the long-term future, that they're forgetting that, this dude's so good that he does stuff like this on a nightly basis. Fans love him, and we're going to make way more money by having this guy on the roster and the deep playoff runs that he's going to help provide us with. Hell, did we forget that he led them to the NBA Finals last year? The NBA Finals? Yes, that tends to make you money, more than what you are giving him. It's worth it, but the Mavs appear to be so dead set on not giving him that money because they're worried that occasionally he has a beer. Oh, the horror. And now they can't help themselves from trying to backpedal and justify the trade when everybody could see it was not a good deal. Now, the Lakers believe Luka's best is yet to come. My God, how long did it take the Lakers to say yes? Especially, they actually negotiated Nico Harrison down. Nico Harrison got thank you, Nico chance in LA. He's in the building and he gets thank you, Nico chance in LA. That's how this trade is seen. And you know what? That's not just that's not the fans trolling Nico or trolling the Mavs or anything like that. No, this bit here by Sam Amick, talent isn't the end all be all, but Doncic's type, the transcendent kind, is so rare that it should be given every opportunity to be maximized. And that's what the Mavs robbed themselves of. And now they're trying to convince everyone that they made the right call. But here's the problem. You want to convince everyone you made the right call? You want to do that? Great. Do it by winning. Do it with the pieces that you got in the trade. Show everybody that you won, not by talking down on the players that you traded away. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is by winning. But Anthony Davis got hurt immediately for the Dallas Mavericks. Fingers crossed. I hope AD comes back. I hope he gets healthy because the Mavs looked really damn good with him. But that's the one way. That is the only path for the Mavs to fix this, for them to come out on top here. It's to win, and especially to win in the postseason. That's how this gets fixed for them. This does not get fixed by them continuing to take shots at Luka. That's not. Lift up your team. Don't try to push down another team, and that's exactly what the Mavs are trying to do with these comments. They can't help themselves. They keep opening their mouths and saying negative stuff about Luka, and all it does is turn off Mavs fans and make their organization look awful. You don't need to talk trash about the players that you traded away to justify the deal. If you do, then you probably made a bad trade. Why is this so difficult for Dallas to figure out? Why? It doesn't make any sense. The only path is to win. And if they win, and they win a championship this year, I think they're going to be a good team. I don't think they're going to win a championship. I think they're going to be a good team. Then all will be forgiven in Dallas. That's what you have to do. And I know AD is not available on the floor to help them win right now. I get that. But even so, if you're losing games, you lose to Luka, take your lumps. Keep your mouth shut. Stop making comments. You are not helping yourselves. I feel for fans in Dallas. This is an insane thing to be going through. And the organization is only making it worse with what they're doing. Figure it out, Dallas. Shut your mouths, win games, and everything will take care of itself. Make sure you guys do subscribe right here to the channel. Till next time, everybody. See ya, and stay safe.